Watch me take an old rusty cabinet that was destined for the landfill and turn it into a 3D printer cabinet. Welcome to Garage Monkey-san. So I made a mistake and deleted all the intro footage, so I don't have any video of the cabinet, how it looked like originally. But basically, my brother-in-law found it at his work. It was destined for the landfill. He grabbed it and gave it to me so that I could turn it into a cabinet. I do have a couple of before photos that I posted on Instagram, so that's what you're seeing now. So sorry about that, but now we'll jump into the build. So first I'm going to take the top portion of this cabinet off. It'll make it easier to paint. I'm also going to remove the doors too. So okay, we're at a point where I've gotten everything cleaned. And now I'm going to start sanding. So I tried to spray paint the inside of these areas here with a spray can, but unfortunately I can't get my hand in the spray can in order to evenly coat the inside of these surfaces. So what I'm going to do instead is just use a can of paint and either a roller or a brush to apply the paint. So next I want to fill these holes. They were keyholes in the doors. Got some big holes in here. But first I have to grind them. So with 3D printed enclosures, you want to keep the heat within the enclosure itself, but this enclosure has vent holes in it, and what I'm going to do is cut it out and then fill it up with plates so that it retains the heat within inside the enclosure. So get out the grinder. So here's the finished weld. Unfortunately I put too much heat in it, so it deformed. So I'm going to have to heat that up and get it straight again. Alright, so this is the jig I made up to take that bend out. It's just 2x4s and some clamps. Alright, straighten it out, maybe a little bit too much, but much better than it was before. Alright, I don't use much Bondo in my life. This is probably only the second time, but what I want to do is fill up the areas where I welded in the keyholes and the other places. So just put a little skim coat of Bondo and sand it down, see what it looks like. Alright, all the hardware is back in. Next I'll put it onto the base. So this shelf is 30 inches deep, way too deep for me to reach if there's something way in the back. So what we're going to make next is 2 drawers, one for the top shelf and one for the bottom shelf. Alright, full disclosure here, I planned this wrong. This drawer is too wide because I forgot to include the width of the hinges, or I mean the drawer slides themselves. So instead of redoing this whole drawers, I have 2 of them, drawers over again, what I'm going to do is use these slides as a bottom mount slide. And these are side mount slides usually, but I know you're not supposed to use them for bottom mount, but because it's weaker, it's not really designed for that. But I figured I'm not going to be using these drawers much. There's not going to be a lot of weight in them, so I'm going to change these over to bottom mount. The other thing too is that these brackets and these drawer slides really look pretty ugly, so I think it'll look cleaner if I just mount these to the bottom of the drawer. So they'll go on like this. So anyway, next to mount these to the shelf. Alright, I need to power up the cabinet, and what I want to do is have a single power cord, but I want 2 branches inside the cabinet. One is an always on unswitched circuit. This will power accessories like my filament dryer, but I also want a switch circuit. Now this is a smart switch that I'm going to install. That circuit is going to feed the back, which in turn will power on the fan and power on the lamp, not to mention power on the 3D printer. So that will give me ability to turn on the printer, fan, and lamp from remote access. So let's install those components. Alright, so I got the switch box installed. There's the receptacles. One is switched and one is not switched. Feed it in the back there. That goes into the back of the cabinet. And the fan should just slide in here. So the fan sits on the inside, and I'll be able to bolt it in with some screws from this outside. Alright, I need a little lid for the fan just to clean up the wiring, and I'm just going to connect it all together. So here's the lamp I installed. It's on a piece of plywood that's double-sided taped and glued to the top of the enclosure. Alright, automatic remote control of the lights and fans in the cabinet. It works. Alright, it's time to move my printer from the old enclosure into the new restored one. So this restoration project was super fun. This cabinet is perfect for my 3D printer. I love it. So thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Mahalo.